Well, just when we were having fun, we were riding the high of Not Like Us and BBL Drizzy. Well, we thought it was all over for Drake.
Right,
But
because you and I had a conversation,
yes,
and I said, do you think that this is it? Do you think that we're gonna get another song sometime soon, or do you think this is it for a while? Because I was curious.
right.
I feel like the love. First of all, not first of all, but I feel like we should talk about that too. Like the level of output between either of them. I think it's commendable.
Absolutely.
Somebody pointed out, was it Charlemagne who pointed out that this is the most music we've got in any rap beef before?
Yep. This is
And it's
true.
been such a short space of time.
Yeah.
I, which is why, like, as much as I don't as much as I see a clear winner here, Drake, both of them put a lot into this thing that is happening.
Absolutely.
It hasn't been done without effort, that's for sure.
And
Um,
and I agree, and I want to add, and both of them have done well.
yeah, yeah. But
Because I
sometimes
know I
some
know it
people just do
sounds
better.
like no, say it again.
Sometimes some people just do better.
This is true. I was gonna say I know it sounds like I'm 100% Team Kendrick, but I said when this started, I don't have a horse in this race. None of these are my dogs, pun intended.
Do you have a
I don't
cat?
got a Crody in this one.
Oh.
I don't. So, for me, I'm just here for good music, and they've both given us good music. So, yeah,
Yes, they
Charlemagne is right. You're right. The level of output has been phenomenal. They have set a precedent for both response times and the level of back and forths between two people. The last time we saw anything even close to this was when Rockefeller was battling the Locks, and they were both just releasing freestyles, going to Hot 97. Some people watching this may not even know what the hell we're talking about because we're old up here. But that
Hey,
might
hey,
be the
hey, hey.
closest.
Speak for yourself.
Girl, we the same age. Come on now. Just
I'm not that age.
come on, son.
I'm not that age
Anyway,
yet.
all right. Anyway, the last time we saw this level of output or anything even close, which I don't think is the same, it was
Mhm.
years ago. We talking early 2000s. We talking 20 years ago almost. Well, actually more than that because it was like 2002, 2001.
Mhm. Well,
So,
sorry. I also think there's an expectation by people over a certain age, and I'm
okay.
talking about a bracket we fall into. I'm not. This is not shade, but I do think that there is an expectation that this beef was supposed to be like other beefs, and I don't think it was, and I don't think it had to be. I think they did it the way they did it, and that's fine. Yes, there are things we've seen before that we liked a lot. But I also think these are two different people. This is a different time. And I don't think they should be penalized for the people who came before them having a different style or a different set of energy. Or I just feel like a lot of the critiques, it's one thing to say, like you said, you just felt like it wasn't a knockout punch. That's fine. But I feel like a lot of the critiques have been like, this is not Kendrick's best work. This is not Drake's best verse. Well, I don't really think that that's what the goal was here. The goal was
No,
beef. The goal
right.
was not, is this my best verse? Is this the best thing I've ever created? I don't think that's what was supposed to happen here. And I don't think they should be held to that standard.
Right.
Could it have been? Could those two things happen at the same time? Yes, absolutely. I think that is it's perfectly capable, and I think some people may even think that for either of them, this is some of their best work. In fact, I think there was someone who, can't remember who, but it's somebody like somebody we would know, somebody people would know who said this is Family Matters was one of Drake's best songs ever. Um, and I can understand why the person said it, because from a style perspective, he stayed true to his style. Um, but it didn't feel frivolous. Whereas a lot of his sing-songy music sometimes feels a little like frivolous, or he's just using, soft tones to shit on women or whatever it
Right.
is, right? This one felt the most meaningful maybe to that person. But I think there's something to be said for that. Like, it's not the same and it shouldn't be considered the same. And if you're looking at this like it's something else you've seen before, then no, you're not going to be satisfied with what you get. They're not
Right.
Nas and Jay Z. They're not Tupac. They're not, and that's okay. That's not, and I'm also not downplaying their abilities either. I'm just saying, like, different, just different.
Yeah. No, I agree. It seems like certain people who are 35 and up, podcasters, rappers, different celebs have come forward and expressed their disappointment with some of these records. I don't know what they expected. I agree with you. Every rap diss record is not going to be no Vaseline or hit 'em up.
Yep.
They're not all going to be that, because every artist approaches beef differently, and the things that people are willing to say are going to vary depending on who the artist is in the beef and who they're beefing with. So people who are coming out and saying like, "Oh, this rap battle was actually really weak," before they started putting out like rapid fire responses. No, it wasn't. The problem is you weren't being realistic about your expectations. We never saw Kendrick in beef, so we didn't know what he was going to do. And he has not disappointed to anyone who thought this is a person with lots of skill, lots of different abilities, and lots of creativity.
Hmm.
He didn't disappoint. He came and did what he was going to do. And
Right.
Drake came and gave you bars, which everyone said they wanted from Drake. They said, well, like that dish Drake, he got to respond. He better bring the bars. He did bring bars and jokes and witty
Mhm.
stuff. And so no, people I agree, people's expectations are sometimes unrealistic. And the problem is they're holding this battle to the light of other battles. And
Yep.
that is the problem. And also, while we're on problems, before we get to the last record of the beef, I want to say
Hmm.
one more thing about all the people who have been chiming in that are podcasters, celebrities, rappers, etc. It is super clear who you have relationships with. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't think that's the case, but it is super clear whether that's academics, whether that's Gilly, no matter who it is. When you
Hmm.
are seeing these responses that people are saying and the way they're overhyping one side or the other, it's like, yo, fam, clearly you have a relationship. Clearly you are trying to keep that relationship. And clearly you want to continue to benefit from that relationship. All you had to do was be objective. That's it. All you had to do was come in here and say what you truly felt. And it's clear to me that many people have not been doing that. And they have revealed some of their own cards, because their tweets and their videos, their public statements have shown I'm a fan of this person, or I have a relationship with this person. For some people, that was Drake. For other people, that was Kendrick.
That's
But
Kendrick. Yeah.
these responses and public statements have been really gross. They have proven to me that people cannot be objective. They want to make sure they keep relationships, which is fine, but you could do that in private.
Right. Then just don't even.
Yeah.
Your opinion now is no longer, it's muddied.
Because
And
how do we even move forward listening to you?
yeah, your credibility is questioned, of course. Um, yeah,
Like Kendrick said, looking compromised.
he did say that. Ooh, he did.
I think it applies to more than just academics. I think
Right.
there are plenty of people who look compromised in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And for context, just veering off a little bit.
Uh-oh.
For context, Takeover came out in July of 2001, and Ether came out in December of 2001.
Yeah, it was like 8 or 9 months later. It was months later.
It was a long time after that. And it still made waves, is my point.
Mhm.
So this idea that they have to be putting out music at a rapid rate is nuts.
That's because of Drake. Drake, and when he beefed with Meek Mill and said, I waited 4 days, nigga, where y'all at? That's where that comes from.